again. It's a rich thing.
Hello, everyone. Today we have a very special guest here with Beyond Empowerment, Ms. Amber Campbell. And Ms. Amber is going to share some great tips with teens. I'm very excited about this opportunity to speak with Ms. Campbell. And the news that she's going to share, or the advice that she's going to share with teens on today. So, Ms. Amber, tell us about yourself. Hey.
Well, like you said, my name is Amber Campbell. I am a 3-time Olympian. I was in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, China, 2012 in London, England, and 2016 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a daughter, sister, friend, fiance, and lover of life. So
congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, I'm just, amazed at your journey that you have experienced. There's a lot of young people that I've met. Some have not even been out of their county or out of their state. So what was it like for you? What can you share with those young people who have not traveled like you've had the opportunity to travel? What was it like?
Well, it was even more than a dream come true. I came from a very small town in Tucumcari, New Mexico. So it was maybe a population of about 2,500 people, give or take. And then in high school, I went to Indianapolis, Indiana. So it was a huge culture shock. And so to be able to, as a professional, travel the world, visit like 20 different countries, it really opened my eyes to what life is like, not only for others, but what it can be if you don't put limits on yourself.
Right. So there is life outside of their small towns. They just need to go get
it. Absolutely. Dream big and then go bigger.
That's right. So the Olympics, oh my goodness. You went 3 times.
3 times, absolutely.
What was that like?
Oh, it was so many mixed emotions. It was excitement. It was anxiety. It was happiness. It was curiosity. And it was, the love of competition being fulfilled at the highest level.
Right. Right. And you've always been competitive?
Always. I am the baby of 4. I have 3 older brothers. And so I literally grew up my entire life competing. Not necessarily always in organized sports, but between my brothers and I, it is, I don't know, the tiddlywinks, checkers, spades, anything that can be a competition, and even something that shouldn't be a competition, everything's a competition. So it was a lot of fun growing up, but yeah, they definitely helped foster my love for all things competitive.
Okay. Well, my first time meeting you was at CCU. What made you pick that college? I mean, if students are trying to figure out where do I go, which college should I pick, what's my life after high school, how would you pick a college that you are interested in?
Well, I knew for sure that I needed to get out of Indiana because it snows. So my goal was to go someplace warm. So I knew that. So I looked at all Southern schools. And of my top choices, the top 2 actually ended up coming down to South Carolina State and Coastal Carolina University.
Okay.
So I went on campus visits to both. And, I did them within the same week because obviously I wasn't making back and forth trips from Indiana to South Carolina. And it was just, I had a lot of fun at South Carolina State. It was an amazing university. I thought, I would know from my undergraduate degree to the graduate program that I wanted to go to, I would know that exact path. I mean, South Carolina State did a really great job of kind of laying out a possible career path for me. Right. Even on my my visit, I wasn't even a student there.
Right.
But when I got to Coastal Carolina, it just felt like home. Between meeting the coaches, the professors, and the teammates and the campus, like everything in my spirit knew, like that's where I was supposed to be. Right. And I told my parents, not even halfway through the trip, I was like, this is going to be it. That's going to be home. So I did everything my spirit like called that home. So that's what I chose.
Amazing. Okay. So tips. for teens. Today, life for teens is so different than life that I experienced as a teenager. What can you share with our teenagers during this period of time as they begin their journey in life? Can you share some tips with them?
For sure. First thing I would say is don't be afraid to be an individual.
Mhm.
Your friends or your family might have always done a certain thing. Don't
Right.
be afraid to go against the grain. If you have a desire in your heart, if something within you is planted and it's
Mhm.
different from the normal, that's
Mhm.
perfectly fine. I would
Right.
tell you to pursue whatever that is, even if no one else can see your vision,
Right.
because it's exactly that. It's your vision. It's
Right.
not meant for everybody else to see. It's just like prescription glasses.
Right.
Everybody doesn't have the same prescription, so you can't see through everybody else's lens.
Good
Um,
point. So true.
yeah, so follow whatever that path that's in your heart. And if your mind changes or if your passion changes, don't be afraid to change that either. Nobody says that you have to stick to one certain decision and
Mhm.
that's the only path that you can go.
Right.
Uh, but also, don't be afraid to try something and not be good at it, or
Yeah.
to do something and then you fail at it.
Right.
It's okay. The best things in life sometimes comes after your most major failure.
That's true.
I failed a ton of times. I failed on international platforms.
Mhm.
Didn't die. Made me stronger,
That's
taught
true.
me more lessons. So failure isn't always bad. I mean, you can fail your way until you find whatever successful path is meant for you.
Mhm.
So try it.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. And I caught that where you say about planting a seed. And you have to start at some point, planting positive seeds into the lives of young people. When is
Absolutely.
when is a good time for them to think about their career goals? I know it's not too early to
It's never
start.
too early, but it's also never too late. I retired from my athletic career in 2017. So I literally started a whole new career
Mhm.
in my mid 30s.
Yeah,
So it's never too late to try something new. It's never too late to have a new dream.
right.
So, start again, try something different, but don't feel like you're stuck in one place.
Mhm.
And and don't feel like you're beholden to anyone just because you started on something. Now, that's not saying don't keep your word and don't be a person of your word,
Yeah,
but people always say, "Oh, you changed."
right.
Well, life is change, life is growth, life is evolution.
That's
And
true.
so if you are the same person at 25 that you were at 15,
Mhm.
you're doing something a little bit wrong.
That's
I'm
deep.
going to
That's
say go
deep.
ahead and
I
make
hope
that
they catch
evolution and make that change.
that. Now, I hope y'all caught that point. Catch that. Yeah, there is growth. I thought about that recently because even with our generation, we're different than our parents' generation, where they may
For sure.
have stayed on their job for a certain number of years because that's what they were used to and that's the way they were
Mhm.
taught to do things. Whereas now, in our generation, we might switch up because we realize the different roads that we can travel. We know our different skills. Not saying that our parents weren't skilled, but we are not afraid to launch out and try those things. And the generation that is coming up, Gen Z,
Mhm.
I know
Mhm.
they're not afraid. And they're ready to go out there. They're in this technology thing that's going on with Gen Z. So they're living a great life. They're at the edge of great things. And I hope that they take
Absolutely.
advantage of that.
Absolutely. And there's so many, different opportunities that are literally at your fingertips. I
Right.
mean, you can apply for jobs with your phone. You can, view things that are going on in Japan right now on your phone. It's literally life
Yeah.
at your fingertips. The world is right here in the palm of your hand. So, making sure that you're being open mind to a number of possibilities. Don't just limit yourself. I mean, I keep saying you never know until you try something different, or you don't know what you don't know, so go find out.
Hmm. You're right. You're exactly right. Yeah. But with your experiences and you came back and you tried a new career, was it hard for you to transition to this new path that you're on?
For sure, absolutely. So going from traveling the world, being gone for weeks at a time, going from country to country to country
Right.
to being in an I don't want to call it it's a sedentary job. I work for the city of Myrtle Beach now, and right now I'm the research and development analyst.
Right.
And so going from very active, outside, constantly training, competing, traveling, to constantly having meetings with different departments or, city officials or whatever the case may be. It was a huge change in pace.
Right.
And that took a lot of self-reflection and getting used to and settling into a new normal.
Right. Yeah. You definitely gave a lot of tips. It's a lot that the team can gather from this conversation. I don't want to cut you off on anything, but just have, allow you to have the floor. Is there anything else that's pouring on your heart, that you would like to share with the team before we get off on today?
No, just don't be afraid to change it up. Life is going to be going very, very fast. So if you need to, change on a dime to switch directions to, better yourself, don't be afraid. I can't, I guess, emphasize that enough. Like, God has given each of us our own talents and our own gifts, and mine's not going to look like yours, and yours isn't going to look like somebody else's. Yeah. But we all have one, so we got to use it to our fullest while we're here on this earth.
You're right. You're exactly right. Don't be afraid and dig deep and see what those gifts are. And so I really appreciate your time. It has been a day and a half. But just stuck with me through all the changes that I went through on today. And I really appreciate your patience. I appreciate all this wealth of knowledge that you've shared today with our teams.
Pleasure.
This is a great person to research, to get to know, Miss Amber Campbell. I really appreciate it. And congratulations to you again. I see the ring. Congratulations and best wishes to you.
Thank you. Y'all be blessed and pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.